Yvette Salva. Wow. What a great conversation with Yvette. I absolutely loved it. Inspiring woman. Daughter of immigrants. Never felt like she felt fit in. She had bulimia. She had addictions for decades. She's able to pull herself out of it. Thought many times she wasn't going to make it. Thought that she was homeless for a while. I mean, just the bottom, the rock bottom, and she's able to pull herself out and make the right changes. Ever since she was 16, she was doing fitness and helping train people. She continues to do it now at a very different level. Her book, Booze, Blow, and Pancakes. Great title. I opened the conversation with why does she like pancakes? Why is it her favorite food? I wonder what you think of her response. But just incredible energy. And I mentioned when I talked to her, I'm just so full of energy, so full of life, so inspiring. I mentioned to her many people would what's been in her life, what she's had to deal with, just kind of close it up and move on. But no, she turns it around and she helps others. She goes to meetings. She helps train people. It's just absolutely inspiring. I receive so much energy from Yvette. I know you'll do the same, but just absolutely wonderful, inspiring woman, Yvette Salva. Thank you so much. Hi, I'm Joey Pinz, and here's my 45-second introduction. After starting my business in the 90s, I started developing poor habits of eating in my diet because I was working way too much. Before you know it, I found myself 340 pounds. The doctor told me if I don't lose the weight, I'm not going to see my daughter graduate. Took the next 7 months, lost 130 pounds. People think there's some secret. Ask me, how'd you lose that weight? Like there's some secret. There is no secret. How'd I lose the weight? Just one word, discipline. I've had other successes in life, and I attribute them all to discipline. Now, I'm not the king of discipline, but I believe that it can help all of us. Friends, colleagues convinced me to start a podcast. The podcast mission, how do we better ourselves and society? I talk to interesting people in health, fitness, sport, wellness, business, technology, science, art, and culture. And I eventually ask them how discipline plays a role in their life. Podcast vision, growth through learning from others. To talk to you. Oh my goodness, Yvette Salva. I know we've been moving this around, but I'm excited to talk to you. Are pancakes your favorite food?
Well, let me tell you something, a little secret. Shh.
All right.
Pancakes, easy to throw up. And that's why the book Booze, Blow, and Pancakes, because I was bulimic for 37 years. Peanut butter, not so easy. So so the pancakes, if you put enough butter and pancake syrup, it just comes up easy like ice cream.
Wow.
So sad, right?
Yeah, you describe. I've been listening and watching you, and you describe how you would eat so much and then just purge it all and then get ready to go to work. Just
Yeah,
routine.
just routine. Booze, Blow, and Pancakes, all three every day.
And that title came up not by you, but by somebody, an instructor, a coach.
Yeah, well, my friend Todd Durkin, he said, you got to write a book. And like, I was one day with a client and I was like, Booze, Blow, and Pancakes, man. Like, that's it. That was my life. And then, so whenever we were around in a conference, he'd just be like, Booze, Blow, and Pancakes. And everybody's like, what's that about? And then, like, probably 7 years later, I actually wrote the book.
And the title was already there. No doubt.
The title was already there. The handcuffs, it was already in my head. I just didn't know. And I'm like a very layman's terms kind of person. Like you're like a computer person. Like you got the brains. I'm like, I speak like a 10-year-old. So I wrote that book through my iPhone, like legit. Rock bottom is a solid foundation. And I just wrote it through my phone and sent it to a publisher.
So let's talk about this, Yvette. So you're one of your parents is from Spain.
Yeah.
The other, I think, is African American or just from Africa?
Haitian.
He's Haitian. He's Haiti. I see.
And I was born in Canada, so it's like a Haitian Canadian Spanish.
Wow. And you come to New Jersey of all places.
Of all places. My dad's a doctor, and he got a job. He was working for Merck. So Merck was in Rahway, New Jersey.
But you always felt like an outcast. You didn't feel like part of. You were talking. What's the one name you kept? It's like Susie or something. Was blonde and
I wanted to be Cindy, Joey.
Cindy.
Like Joey's a cool name. Like Joey's got the hat on backwards. He's at the cool kids table. Like, Yvette. You ever go to that travel place and find Yvette? No. You'll find the little name tag with Joey, the cool keychain. You won't find Yvette. It's not happening, bro.
But that's an advantage. You're so unique.
Yeah, but back then, all I wanted to do was fit in. Oprah talks about that with her name, and she said, she always hated her name. I never found the lunchbox. But now people find me. They're like, are you the Yvette that used to teach group fitness at LA Fitness? I'm like, I'm the same person.
Wow.
So it's actually helped me in my business because it's a weird name and people find me.
LL Cool J has a song. I'm sure you've heard it.
Here, Yvette?
Yes.
It's the one claim to fame. I'm on a rap song. I don't got a big butt either.
Yes. So you feel like an outcast and you're in school and your father's a doctor. I mean, very great parents, right? That wasn't an issue at all. Your parents supported you completely.
100%. But I feel like growing up, and I actually heard Rich Roll say this the other day. He said growing up, his identity was based on his results. Everything was results driven, and I felt like that. Even as a kid, I remember praying on my knees to pass a test. Because the validation and love was shown to me through things I would accomplish. Yeah.
So you begin to hit rock bottom. You bottom out a bit, and you're forced to work at places where you're making a lot of money, but you don't like what you're doing, and it's detrimental to your health and to your well-being. And you move on from place to place. But so, did you need to get to a certain place before? Let's describe when you stopped using. It's been 22 years now, I think.
22 years. So there's 3 addictions, right? My first addiction was food, and that took 37 years.
Wow.
Cocaine took one instance. I was getting ready for work. I looked at myself in the mirror. I had blood running down my nose. I could touch my fingers inside my nose. Oh my God. And I just said, that's it. I am not going to have the Michael Jackson nose. I'm vain. This is not happening. And I never did another line.
Wow.
So I always say pain is a great motivator for change. Right then and there, in an instant, I quit. Drinking took off. Now you can drink for a lot longer without consequences.
That's right.
With food, it's a lot longer without consequences. But for me, if there's just a little bit of partying left and I'm not going to die, I'm going for it.
Wow.
With everything. I'm just a gambler. I'm just going to go all in.
Wow.
Yeah,
I've heard you say if it was now with all the dangerous like fentanyl that's in things, you tried things all the time, it would have been a very different thing.
Oh my God. There's no way I'd be alive.
Right.
Yeah. That's why I just heard a mom that was sharing on one of the recovery stations I listened to, and her son just wanted Adderall to study, right, in college, freshman year, one pill, and it killed him. Fentanyl. A good kid just wanted to study harder. Took it one time. I mean, it's crazy what's going on with the drugs now.
Very, very different scene. Yeah. But you turned it around. And so you did that with cocaine. You said you just kind of saw yourself, you went cold turkey, but the other ones took a little bit more willpower to wane off of, right? Why?
Well, I think, because I knew that I was going to die if I kept going on with cocaine. Alcohol took me to another level. But listen, I went to 7 rehabs. I was the best patient in rehab. I'm running the Bible studies. I'm running everything. I'm so good. But then left to my own devices, and I think this is many people, we go back to the same people, places, and things, and I pick up. And then my standard gets lower. Like, it's not that bad, kept me stuck for so long. Like, it's not that bad. I'm homeless, but I can shower at the gym and go to work. So like the standards just keep getting back. I'm bankrupt. Like, I'm getting my car repossessed. The bar gets lower until there's no more life jackets. And that's what happened to me with alcoholism. Like, there was not one life jacket, not one person, not $1. And then I'm willing.
And through all this, were you still exercising? Were you still doing a lot of fitness like you are now?
Yeah, I used to do lines and go teach.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was really ramped up, Joey.
Yes, you were. Oh my goodness. But then you meet a man and you get married for about 20 years, I understand,
20
correct?
years, yeah. I They say in the first year of recovery, no major changes. I met this man within 3 months. Within a year we were married, and
Wow.
God does put people in your life, and I truly believe this. You don't know why they're there, but I know that he was my safety to stay sober. He's a great loyal man. He was a great provider, a great father. We just grew apart, but
Mm.
I know had I not met him, I'd probably be dead.
Wow.
He saved my life for sure. For sure.
And why aren't you supposed to make big changes within the first year? Why is that
They want you to go through the first, keep your life around recovery, not
I
about
see.
another person. So your life is recovery, and then you have things on top of it, but you need to go through a first birthday, a first Christmas, a first without using. And so
Uh,
relationships take a lot of people out.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And what about the steps? A lot of people get stuck on the higher being, right?
Yeah. Like for me, there's just three steps. I can't, he can, let him.
Hmm.
And it can be your higher power, it can be this chair, it can be whatever you want. But I used to not, I kind of like felt like, I don't know if God's really here for me because, how could he be here for me? A lot of stuff, crazy shit happened in my life. But
Hmm.
you know what? I know I'd be dead if there wasn't a God. And surrendering, saying I'm completely powerless over alcohol and my life has become unmanageable. Like
Mm.
I always thought, like I'm a Tony Robbins personal development. I am powerful. This is the exact opposite of everything I grew up with. But there's so much power in surrender
Mm.
to say I can't. And then it's we admitted we need a community of people to help us. Like today, I don't be around anybody who doesn't live the life the way I want to live it.
Mm.
I don't surround myself with anybody who's not sober, who doesn't live in the fitness in my world. This is what I need. Anything else is going to take me out.
Huh.
Yeah.
I like the way you say surrender. What's the line? I think you too. If you want to touch the sky, you better get on your knees, right?
Mm, yeah. Do you
And sorry.
surrender? Do you believe in surrender?
Well, yeah, I believe there's a certain time where you do have to take a step back and look at yourself before you can move forward. And to do that, it's definitely a form of surrender, of opening up and being vulnerable.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
How
I
else can you heal?
How else can you heal? And I know you went through that with your sister, and sometimes those you don't know why we go through them, but there is a reason for it. There's a purpose for it. You take that pain and you make it your purpose. And that's what I say. I say my mess is the message, so no one has to feel alone and ashamed like I did my whole life.
Mm,
Because it's supposed to be anonymous, but how are we going to help other people if they don't know other people that are sober?
mm,
So I'm out loud with recovery because so many people come to me, and it's not just drugs and alcohol. It could be shopping, it could be men, it could be dating sites, it could be whatever. And they know, like, my life is unmanageable, like this, I gotta change.
hmm. Do you consider yourself religious or spiritual or both?
I would say i would say religious because I grew up in the Catholic Church,
Mm,
but I would say spiritual because I don't believe in, like, these sins and this. I believe, like, do the right thing, keep your
mm,
side of the street clean, and help others. And that's spirituality. Doing
mm,
the right thing, helping others, and trusting the process. Like trusting. Like I tell people they're doing, bicep curls. They're like, this isn't working. I'm like, it is. I promise you, you
mm,
need patience.
mm.
So all the things that I've learned, I say everything I learned, that book, Everything You Learn in Kindergarten. I think
Yeah.
everything I learned in the gym and through, AA.
Even if we have friends or know people that are close to this rock bottom, I mean, I heard you say at one point your parents said, "We just have to let you go. You're going to have to, you know, this is the best thing. I want you to. Hopefully, you'll be okay." But as a friend, is there something we can say or do to support them? Do we just have to let them go, or what do we do with that if that happens as a friend? What's our responsibility?
The responsibility is I'm always here for you
Mm,
when you're ready. because you can tell anybody, this steps work. This is actually going to help you. But until they believe it and they want it, I say two things: willingness
Hmm.
and desire. The willingness to do the things you don't want to do, and the desire has to be greater to change than to stay the same.
Mm.
Because we always want to live in comfortable, cozy Netflix and Cheez-Its, right? It's so much easier.
We all want to be secure and safe. That's for sure. It's just how does one try to understand the depths of despair that one has that another has through addiction if they haven't faced it? Is it important for them to know, or is it just important for them to understand, you think?
I think, listen, my dad's a doctor and he doesn't even understand AA. Take, antabuse, take this.
Right.
I was going to all these psychiatrists that were giving me all kinds of prescriptions, Effexor, Wellbutrin, this. You know, no one said, I think you might need AA. I think you
Mm.
have a drinking problem.
Mm.
And I think a lot of people with bipolar, ADHD, a lot of the things that I have got better when I stopped drinking and drugging, but I
Hmm.
always thought it was a mental disorder. But meanwhile, I was just self medicating because the ism isn't the addiction. Addiction is the solution.
Mm.
Drugs and alcohol work every single time,
Mm.
they always work. But then there's consequences, right? If not, I'd still be doing it because it was a good time.
Yeah.
But it's the ism. What's wrong with me that I feel like I need to seek out food, drugs, or alcohol to feel better, to deal with my life? Until I go deeper. So quitting drinking is sobriety, but recovery is a whole different thing. It's
Mm.
working on yourself. Because you could get sober and then switch to gambling, and then you switch to porn, and then you switch to the next thing. So until you get right fully with yourself, you're just going to switch seats on the Titanic.
The term chasing the dragon, is it true? Is it what do you
Mm,
think?
100%. 100%. I think we're all chasing that quick fix that gives us instant relief.
Mm.
Even if it's just the phone, an Amazon package, anything, it's an instant world. You know, I was watching Young Sheldon with my son and I'm like, wow, like people were like they were eating dinner together, not looking at screens, and like just
Nice.
like how crazy, how simple. Like I wish he could understand, like we used to go out and play in the street. Like
Yeah.
what would you do on the street, Yeah, it's so crazy.
Yeah, as soon as cars were coming, we'd have to move the ball and move the bases over, and then the car would go there, we put it back, yeah, and when the lights came on in the streets, we had to come home, so it's just a very, very, different time. I heard you say, and I like what you say, "You can do hard things."
Always. That's like seriously my mantra. Because I never believed I could do anything.
Mm.
And nothing changed for me until I started to give myself evidence that I can do hard things.
Hmm.
Because when you try to go on a diet and it doesn't work, and you keep starting over every Monday, and you keep starting over with the same 30 pounds, you don't believe it anymore.
Right.
You don't believe in yourself. But if you start with one small thing, if you keep your word to yourself for one small thing and build upon that, then you start to believe I can do hard things.
Hmm.
It doesn't have to be a marathon, right? You say, I'm going to walk 20 minutes and you walk 20 minutes. That takes effort. You did a hard thing.
Mm. And now you're a coach. What's the difference between a coach and a therapist?
So a coach looks for the solutions for right now in the future.
Ah.
And a therapist will go back into your childhood. It will go back into your trauma, like heal the past to move forward. Here I'm starting. What's your problem? You need to lose 100 pounds. Let's set up a program. Let's use tools that'll actually work for your life. Let me give you accountability. Let's be in the solution. Where I think in therapy, you have to go back to move forward.
Hmm. I've heard that described exactly. Therapists look back, coaches look forward. And
Mm,
when somebody says to you, "I wanna lose 50 pounds," I mean, I'm sure you get this all the time. Where do you start? I mean, it can't be one way for everyone.
no, I'll tell you something. I had a woman who lost 80 pounds.
Wow.
And she was like, just like she big amount of weight. Her thing was every night she would take the Friendly's ice cream and start with a whole big tub.
Oh
And
my
I was like, I'm not gonna say her name, but I was like, listen, Susie, just take the ice cream. I don't care if you eat that whole thing, but put it in a bowl. And she was like, I don't know what that's going to do, but it was a small change. And then she started to put less ice cream in the bowl.
God.
Then she started to buy single serving ice creams. And she couldn't wrap her head around not doing this habit she had done for
Hmm.
years. And slowly she started to do that. And then she said, you know what? If I could do that, maybe I could walk to the mailbox and back. And slowly, small changes. See, people don't think, what's 30 minutes going to do?
Right.
30 minutes 2 times a week, that's 100 and whatever, 10 workouts a week, whatever, it's going to be better than zero. So I try to say small wins, sustainability, consistency, and then we move on, you know?
And celebrate those wins.
135 pounds. What was your thing that you said, this is what worked?
Well, I hit rock bottom. The doctor, I didn't think I was going to see my daughter. I mean, that
Mhm.
was the thing, Yvette. But I mean, not everybody needs to hit kind of rock bottom to be motivated, though. I mean, well, you said the cocaine, but there was other things. I'm sure you just said that's enough, and your husband at the time saved you, right? Because now you can hold on to somebody.
Mhm.
But with people, with so many people, do you talk about nutrition as well? About losing weight?
All the time. I talk about, like, I don't give you a meal plan because what's going to work for you and what's going to work for Sally is totally different. But
Yeah.
I talk about the relationship you have with food and how we can change that. Because
Mm.
listen, everybody, we all have ChatGPT, the Googles, we all know what's up. Any diet you want, you could get for free. It's not the diets, it's not the information, it's the application.
Yeah.
So make it more about small steps that are sustainable over time.
Hmm.
You know? And the simpler it is, the easier it is to apply.
So
Yeah.
who will you not work with?
I won't work with anyone who says I have a wedding next week. I need to lose 10 pounds.
Uh,
I won't work with that because that's just like, if you want that 21-day fix, go do that. There's so many people that will send you a bot, well, they'll send you a meal plan, they'll never talk to you. I want to build a relationship. I tell people I'm not a gym, there's not a keychain here. It's me and you talking about how did it go at the wedding? Wow, did you do the bread, alcohol, and wine? You just did the wine, no bread, no dessert. Like you just picked one out of the three we talked about. Score. That's what it's about, you know? And that makes me just so happy because I could see a woman who was 300 pounds who could barely walk up to my studio using the railing can now walk up my studio. That's what makes me happy. Not
wow.
a bikini butt. Like all that stuff is just, that's just all that thirst traps. The real stuff is my biggest success stories even haven't lost that much weight, but they're a completely different person on the inside,
Mm. Mm.
you know?
That
So
must be so rewarding when you help with that, Yvette.
Ah, that's like I literally get goosebumps, you know?
So why write the book?
Well,
Booze, blow, and pancakes. What do you want the reader to come away with?
never give up. If there's
Mm.
breath, there's hope. Like I literally thought that there's no possible way. First of all, I had accepted that I was going to be bulimic for the rest of my life until one day I threw up and I could never get 90 days. In sobriety, when you get 90 days, you get this big coin. And I would always try to apply it to food. I could never get 90 days since I'm 14 years old.
Wow.
And one day, my kids are at work, my husband's at work, my kids are at school, and I throw up, and the boxing bag in the back of my throat exploded. And I thought, Joey, I was dead.
Mm.
Like the gig is up.
Mm.
The gig is up. And I ended up surviving. And I said to my husband at the time, I want to go to Tony Robbins' event. I just feel something in my gut that I need to go. And Tony Robbins did this hypnosis. Imagine like 15,000 people. Like, if you keep doing what you're doing, what's your life going to look like in 1 year? And all these people just crying and screaming, standing up. It was life changing. And if you go for 5 years, and I swear to God, Joe, I saw my daughter over my grave saying, Mom, it didn't have to be this way. And that was like my awakening. Like, I'm going to die if I continue to do this. And then I came back. I threw up one time and never again since
Wow.
2017. Yeah.
It was your daughter.
Yeah. Just like it was yours, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we can't even do it for ourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we realize that what we do just doesn't affect us, but affects others, it takes on a whole different state.
It really does. And it's so crazy that, you don't know what room you need to be in or when you need to hear what you need to hear, but that room that day, it changed my life.
Hmm. Yeah, Tony Robbins is quite an individual, isn't he?
Oh my God. Changes lives. The one sentence I got out of it was the unleash the power within. And
Hmm.
he said, "You can't change what you do not acknowledge. You'll
Hmm.
never change your life." So it's like you got to own your shit to change your shit. And that always stuck with me because I never wanted to look at it. I always like sugarcoat it. Foo foo fa fa, not for real. Nah.
It's amazing what a statement will do. I heard one recently that's really been stuck with me. It's don't try to get even. Well, instead of trying to get even with those who have wronged you, get
Mm,
even with those who have righted you.
mm,
Help them,
yeah.
and they'll help you.
Mm. And you are doing that today with with this audience. I've looked at all your stuff. It's all about helping people.
I just asked some questions, Yvette. It's all about the guests and great guests like yourself. So you want people that read that book to look, to see what happened to you and see how somebody can turn around when you didn't think you were going to make it, and how it can help others. How did you write the book? You said you just spoke it into your phone.
Through my phone, and then I knew somebody in the publishing industry through my Todd's network, and I got it. I got it. I did it through that. But honestly, through those chapters of like the first chapter, secrets keep you sick.
Mm,
Like here I am, this fitness pro with a six pack, and at night I'm throwing up, putting my head in a toilet bowl. Like what a hypocrite,
wow.
you know? And then rock bottom is a solid foundation, and there's so much power in powerlessness. And pain is a great motivator for change. All those little bumper sticker statements that like were the chapters were real in my recovery story.
Mm.
And we're all in different places. Like I maybe someone listening here today is like, secrets keep you sick. Like maybe I shouldn't be texting that guy, or maybe I shouldn't be doing that. Like whatever it is that is in the whisper of your gut that's not right, if you don't address it, yeah.
Did others know how much despair you were in? Your friends, your close ones?
No, because I only had people that I just hung out with people that were party people.
Mm,
Party people are never around when the going gets tough. I'll
right.
tell you that. You know, yeah. That's what I have found in the community of people in my personal development community of Todd, and also in the recovery community, is I have people who want you to do better than them. I don't know anybody in the world that wants that for other people.
Mm,
You know, I look at another woman and I'm like, you're amazing. You're beautiful. Like it's almost weird for women to say that to other
it
women because
is.
women are like hateful. That's why even on my videos, most of the time I'm in glasses and I don't put makeup. I'm you. I am not like, I am you. I wear zit stickers at night and pimples and wrinkles and all. And the more that women can be real to each other to help each other up, that's what I'm all about.
Mm. Yeah, I have daughters, and boy, I just a general blanket statement here, but oftentimes women treat women the worst.
The worst. The worst. And especially young girls, it can get brutal with the social media.
Mm,
How old are your daughters?
25 and 22.
I have a 21-year-old. Are they still with you?
No, no, they're empty nest and they're all over the country. Yeah, having a
Yeah.
good time and living their best lives.
Yeah.
And I know what you're thinking, Yvette. Don't worry, they look like their mother. Don't worry. Uh, you say you like to work with women that are over 40. Why?
Because listen, I think women over 40 have lost their sense of identity.
Mm,
They've been Joey's mom since first grade. They've let go of their career.
hmm,
They go to Target and Starbucks. They're in their freaking PJs, slumber party with a bun over their head, and they're going to ShopRite. This is the life of most women I see that feel unseen.
hmm.
They're like, I used to be hot in high school. What happened?
Mm,
And so, like, I think women after as they get older, they feel dismissed.
mm.
They've lost themselves. And so I want to help women, regardless of their age, their size, their weight, feel amazing. You know, you're 350 pounds today. A year's going to go by anyway. Maybe we could be 280 pounds. And maybe the year after that, we could be 220.
Hmm.
And maybe you won't hide in pictures of behind your friends on Facebook and you'll be not wearing the moo top and you'll feel like I deserve to be in a photograph.
Yeah, it is interesting. I have another blanket philosophy, and it seems to me I have many friends, lady friends that, are dating, and they ask me about men, and I say, well, a man isn't a man till at least 40, 45, 50. A woman a little bit earlier, of course, because they mature a lot earlier. But so working with those women who have really found themselves, and are in a most likely a better mental place, but perhaps they've lost other things. You've got to kind of pull them back. It must be difficult to work at both ends, right? Mental and physical.
Yes. And I do it three ways: mental first.
Mm.
It has to start with your thinking. Then it starts with what you're doing physically. Move a muscle, change a thought.
Hmm.
Anyone listening to this right now who feels stuck, I would tell them, you've got to start moving your body.
Yeah.
You want to build a business, you want to, have a child, you want any goal you want starts with physical transformation. Then it's what you put in your body.
Hmm.
And then it's what are you listening to? What are you reading? Who are you around?
Hmm.
All those three together will change your life.
Yeah, they certainly will. Yeah, your company is really important, who you associate with. And I have a lot of friends. I play a lot of sports. They want to go out afterwards and drink a lot. It's not. I have one, but what are we going to do? Get all yeah. The priority is there. That can't be understated. Your company that you keep.
Yes. And I don't know if you can relate, but do you feel like the circle gets smaller
It does.
and smaller
No
as
question.
the years go by?
Yeah. Yeah. And I go to bed earlier and earlier at night. I wake up earlier, but still, yeah, because you become selective.
You become selective and your time is so valuable,
Yeah. Plus, I want to learn. I want to ask questions, and if they're all sloshing around, what good is that going to do? Then I end up having to take care of them. It's a tough thing. But when somebody comes to you with a problem, and can you tell right away if it's more mental than physical?
100%.
Really? How?
Just by the way they tell me, like, I've been starting over since 1985
Mm,
and I'm 100 pounds overweight.
wow.
So I can see that there's these extremes of perfectionism. I'm going to eat 1,200 calories. I'm going to go fitness pal. I'm going to do an hour of cardio. I'm going to weight train. And then there's this binging.
Mm,
And then there's this starting over. So I
mm,
can see that's a cycle that's not about like, this is a person who doesn't need a meal plan. This is a person who needs accountability and love and a different mindset on food.
mm.
This food works. If I'm bored, it fills my boredom. If I'm angry, it fills my angry. If I'm sad, if I'm tired, it gives me a little energy. It gives me something to do. It always works,
It
food.
does.
But it's a quick fix for a temporary solution, right? It's just a little bit that it's done. And then what? And I always tell my women a craving will last from 10 minutes to an hour. And if you can start to learn to pass through that craving, it might take 6 months to practice to say, you know what? I'm not even going to pick up that first cookie. It's going to pass. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to get a podcast. And they get through it. They're like, okay, I could maybe do this again.
Mm. And we should say, here in the States, the system is really rigged against us, right? Because there's so much bad food. It's so inexpensive. It's so available, and it's so geared to make you eat more and taste great, but not good for you. So you have to really be strong in resisting this stuff,
It
or
is.
moderating it at least.
Yeah. And, in Spain, when I go, like, they give you a coffee
Mm,
this big,
mm, mm,
they
mm.
give you a plate this big of food. Like, you're
Yes.
not like Applebee's, like salad is for a family of 12, and they don't walk around with drinks in their hands. And
No.
it's just so different. And I can
Yes.
here and I'm like, wow, this is excess of everything,
Yes. Yes.
excess of everything. And so, but what's funny about what you say about the temptation? I always say it's easier to avoid temptation
Mm.
than to resist it.
Mm.
If I
Just
hang out
avoid.
at the bar, I might get through it the first time, but the 10th time, I might pick up.
Mm.
If I hang around the ice cream store or I have it in my house, even though I have it for company, I'd rather just not have it if
Me
I
too.
know that it lights up the beast,
Me too.
right? Like, I don't even want a taste of that magic. For what? Then longing for it, and then what?
Right.
I'm thinking about it all night. Then I got to cut up in the middle of the. It just has for some of us, it has a real mental compulsion. You know.
No question. I can't have cookies in this house, Yvette. I'll end up, you bring them. Thanks for bringing them, but you're taking them home afterwards. I don't want them here. I'm going to throw them out. I just avoid the temptation. And my father's Italian, so I, spent a decent amount of time in Italy, and you know, they have greens and fish. On Sunday, they have a pasta this much.
Yeah.
It's not like it's very different than here. And everybody walks everywhere, and everybody takes a nap in the afternoon. I mean, it's just so different. I'm not saying it's better or worse. It's just different. But there are other ways to live, and it's a little bit of a quality over quantity, I think. But avoiding those kinds of foods, and I mean, even I've never had a cup of coffee my whole life. I know it. Yeah, never had one. My mother, when I was young, uh, had to get off caffeine, so she was like angry for what I think was like 6 months. It could have been less, and so I don't know. I just never got on. But I mean, I see these coffee drinks like 1,500 calories.
Yeah.
It's a dessert. It's not
Yeah.
a.
It's a dessert. But you know what? When everyone's doing it, like, how could this be? And it's not even
That's
filling
right.
me up.
It's not a. Yeah, yeah.
I
My
I think
crazy.
I think the lifestyle in America is just work, 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 then take Johnny to practice and he's got to go get private practice and then we
Hmm.
got to get home and we're going through McDonald's. And I think that I know for me, I need to just practice being versus doing.
Mm.
Just being in my own skin. Like, I don't know, reading a book is hard for me.
Hmm.
I used to love to read books, but now it's like the phone. I'd rather do reels, and see
Right.
what's going on. And I literally train myself to do hard things every day so that I don't get weak.
Mm.
Like, I work out at 5:30 in the morning. If I want to start working out at 9, it's ideal. But I know my mindset's getting soft. And that's what I see with a lot of retired people. They stop going out as much. They work out later.
Mm.
And then they become isolated. And it's like, if you have to continue to do hard things, put yourself in a room that you're not comfortable in, learn new things to continue to grow. Because money isn't about, happiness is not about money, power, none of it. That's all going to fade, you know?
Yeah, often I strive to get uncomfortable. I think that's what you're saying too. I mean, you have to live there. If you get afraid of being uncomfortable, then what happens when you really have to get uncomfortable, right? You got to kind of prepare for it. Has there been anything, Yvette, in the last month or so you changed your mind on?
People.
Hmm.
I've set up boundaries for myself. Long-term relationships are hard because you're like, well, it's been 20 years or whatever, but it's never about the length of the relationship. I heard Jay said it's about the quality and the depth.
Hmm.
I no longer want to be in relationships that no longer serve me or I serve them. The energy never lies. So just recently, I've even with even with clients, if they're sucking me dry, I'm not giving them the straw no more.
Good for you.
You know, it's $80. It's not worth it, you know? And God always provides new clients. So I feel like this part of my life is definitely about setting boundaries. My circle is getting real small, but I'm good with it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You mentioned God a number of times. You believe that He had this destiny set for you? He or she?
100%.
Really?
My purpose, like, I went to a rehab last Saturday with my boyfriend. He's also in recovery. Like, our purpose is to serve the recovery community.
Wow.
If a girl's coming out the next day out of the rehab, I want her to have my phone number. Are you going to a meeting? Set yourself up for success
Mm.
because somebody did that for me. Maybe I wouldn't have had to go through I could have
Mm,
gotten on the fifth floor, right? I could have exited on
mm,
the fifth floor instead of the low, you know? So it just takes one person to believe in you. That's truly the truth. And so when I see that desperation or that I see that hope that maybe I could get sober, I want to be there.
mm.
That's what lights me up.
Do you still feel the pull of being unsober?
It can happen in definitely different ways. You know, I've definitely grown through my sobriety, but I've definitely had the ism comes up in other things, right? The
Mm,
ego comes up in other things.
mm,
And so the 12 steps help you address that. Like, look at your past. What was my part in it? And how can I move forward?
hmm,
And I try to do that like every night. Do I need to apologize to someone? Was I really serving myself or, you know, or was I serving them?
mm.
I try to do that. I mean, we're all human, but yeah, I'm grateful. The 12 steps for me is a design of living.
And it seems to me they can be applied to a lot of things.
Everything. Because I went to OA, NA, A, to all the A's, you know, and those 12 steps apply to everything.
Mm,
And I really wish that there was just a program for people to go to that are lonely, that wish that they could be in a community,
mm,
talk about their stuff. Because it's like therapy for $1. Now you pay $2 in a basket, but you come out of there feeling grateful. It's like a workout. You're never going to be mad that you didn't go.
mm.
Yeah.
Should people that never bottom out go as well? How can we support our friends that are sober, the non-sober?
Our friends, how can we support the ones that are struggling?
Yes.
I would say the first thing is to tell someone you're struggling.
Really confront them.
Confront them. Confront them. Because, you know, we think we are the master manipulators and nobody knows.
Mm.
But listen, if my parents hadn't kicked me out, I never would have gotten to a bottom and I would have ended up dead. They would have been
Wow.
digging the grave for me. And
Oh
I
my
tell a
God.
lot of women like that, like they got your 35-year-old son who's stealing from you and you have to lock up your pocketbook. He's got to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard. You know, I have a 21-year-old girl. Would I be able to just say, you got to go? I don't know. But
Right. Right. Hmm. So
there's no consequences, there's no change.
that's true. Yeah, something's got to happen. You've got to the only person who can make up their mind is you.
Right. Right.
This,
And
this
some,
go ahead.
and I was just going to say, some people get sober, they don't go to meetings. Some people get sober, they make a decision. You know, everybody's got their own way of doing it. For me, I know that if I don't go to meetings, this is my way of giving back so that
Mm,
the chair is not empty when a newcomer walks in and they
mm,
see, hey, it works. Even 22 years later, didn't this lady get the memo yet? No, I'm here because I'm here for service and I'm here for myself because
hmm.
this is where I belong. This is my people.
I found through these conversations and through friends, I've just purely anecdotal, Yvette, just from my experiences, I found that people get stuck in one or more of three ways. And again, this is mine. Is everybody could shoot it down if you want, but I find that the first one, most common, is when they try to control things they can't control.
Oh, preach,
There's
preach.
so many things out there you can't control. Why try to do that? The second I find is holding off on happiness. I'll be happy when I lose the weight, when I get the raise, or if this person treats me this way, when you're in complete control of your happiness.
Mm-hmm,
And then the last I find is that, well, this happened to me, therefore I do this.
mm-hmm.
Something happened to me, or kind of living in the past. These things have happened to me. That's the way I am now when they're able to change. Any thoughts on those three?
Everything. Everything. There's a model that I learned in life coaching school, and people like this doesn't work for anything, and I'm 100% works for everything.
Hmm.
So I remember it like this: Connecticut is far, circumstance, thought, feeling, action, result. So let's say, for example, the circumstance is COVID. It's undeniable truth. You can't think it away. It's a fact. In a law, it's a fact. It happened. My thought is, I don't have to go to work. I'm going to eat and drink what I want. And Netflix.
Mm.
The feeling is, I'm just whatever. I'm whatever. It's not happening. Action, I gained 30 pounds. Result, I've gained 30 pounds and I'm unhealthy. Same circumstance,
Hmm.
COVID. My thought is, I can get in the best shape of my life. I've never had this time. The feeling is, let's go. The action, I start moving. I build a gym in my basement. I start to meal prep. The result, I'm 30 pounds less and I'm in the best shape of my life. Same
Hmm.
circumstance, different thoughts, different feelings, different actions, different results.
Connecticut is far away.
CTFAR. You always remember it. And you can plug in my feeling. My feeling today is sadness. Why? My thought is this relationship is ending. My action, well, my actions can be I make the phone call and say we need some time apart, or my action can be nothing. And what is the result I want? The result is I want freedom and I want peace, right? Or you can think of it, I feel sad. Screw her. I'm going to send her a nasty text.
Hmm.
And then the action is sending the text. And then the result is like, now you have this completely estranged relationship. Your feelings, your thoughts always drive your feelings, which drive your actions.
Mm.
Always starts up here. I can go to the liquor store and pick up lottery tickets. It's okay. Action, go to the lottery store, pick up tickets, see a beer. Result, I get drunk. I don't think that might be a good place. I feel a little apprehensive. Action, I'm not going in there. Result, I keep my sobriety.
Hmm.
Right?
Hmm.
Always starts in your head.
Do you continually run these exercises?
Always. Connecticut is far every day. Thought downloads. Bum, bum, bum.
I'm from Connecticut.
Well, no way. It's so far. Somebody's going to be writing CTFAR. You plug it in of what it is, and you plug it in what you want. And you can see that it's either an inaction or an action you need to take.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I started my business in the 90s, Yvette, and I was working way too hard, putting, I've been an athlete my whole life, putting my health in the back seat and, uh, you know, 14, 16-hour days, you're no stranger to this. And, a lot of fast food, eating late at night. And so I'm in front of the doctor and my story. So she tells me I'm at 340 pounds. So I knew I was big, but I didn't think I was that big, fat, whatever you want to say. And so she says to me, if you don't lose this weight, you're not going to see your daughter graduate. She knew how to hit me. So I'm driving home. I felt ashamed, right? I didn't
Mhm.
feel motivated. I felt
Mhm.
ashamed. And I'm punching the steering wheel and I'm thinking to myself, this is my pie hole, right? I
Mhm.
did this to myself. I am much bigger. I could do whatever I want to myself, but I have this beautiful little girl, Yvette, that somehow I'm responsible for bringing into this world. And the
Mhm.
thought of not being there for her for any special day of when she needs it, it killed me. So I spent the next 6, 7 months. I lost about 120, 130 pounds, and I kept it off. You can't look at these things like a finishing line. Many times, you know this better than I do. People feel like they went to the finishing line and they can go back and do what they were doing. This is a lifelong changes. So when I tell people this, they always say, "What's your secret?" Like it's some secret, and it's no secret. So it's discipline, right? Motivation, willpower, routine. How does discipline play a role in your life, Yvette? Salva.
Just like what you said, the rent is due every day.
Mm,
If I want to keep what I have to keep doing what I did.
mm.
The minute we take the gas off the pedal, I stop going to meetings. I start going to different places. I stop waking up early. I'll do it later. All these things creep up over time.
Mm,
I'm not going to meetings. Now I'm not working out in the morning. Now I've gone on vacation. Now I've gained 20 pounds. And just like that. So if it has value to you, there's no graduation date.
mm,
It's such a privilege to be alive and to be able to keep what you have. I never want to start over. I,
mm,
I had 3 years and had to start over. And that was like what you said, so much shame.
mm.
because I just took the foot off the pedal, I got complacent. So I'm all about the rent is due every day. To keep what you have to do what you did. And for me, that's a plan, it's accountability, it's routine, and it's movement. Like I can have the best plan, but if I don't tell somebody, I can easily talk myself out of that plan. And if I don't have routine is the one thing, especially when you're doing a big change, that gives you a sense of control.
Yes.
And moving your body, man, you're never going to regret it. You'll always, always, always feel proud of yourself. Plan, accountability, routine, and movement. Parm, eggplant parm, Joey.
Warren Buffett has a great quote: a dumb guy with a plan will always be a smart guy without one." Right? It's very like in your household. You're immigrants. Your parents were immigrants.
Mhm.
Did they talk about discipline, or was it just kind of exemplified?
It was exemplified.
Yeah.
Big time. My dad was a doctor, worked all the time. My mother was a professor, worked all the time.
Wow.
They worked, they built a lot of wealth, and but it's kind of sad, in that now in their 85, 90 years old, they're in Spain, they're not here with their grandchildren. I think that's the piece, that human connection is so much more important than anything. Your children are more important than any Range Rover, any pilot license, any airplane you're going to drive, right? Human connection. I always say 3 things that I have found made me happy. And I think this applies for everybody. Human connection, because we learned that through COVID. Like, I need to see you, feel you, and know that you matter, right?
Yeah.
Brady Bunch box does not work. The second thing is fulfillment. I always say, like, I need to know I slayed the day, because there's no lack of miserable billionaires.
Right.
And the third thing is human connection, fulfillment, and purpose. Like, you have to find what lights you up. And it's usually not about being happy for yourself. It's usually about serving others.
What motivates you, Yvette?
My kids motivate me. My own honor to myself. I don't want to let myself down, because I did that for so many years,
Right.
Like, sobriety gave me I could never show up for anything. I had no honor. And now I have honor in myself, and that feels so good. And I'm not willing to give it up. So I'm going to continue to do the things that I did. I was like, you're a techie. Like, he's been doing computers since the 80s, built this computer. And I'm like, oh my God, I better be on time. It's like, because I don't know anything about this stuff. But you know what? I know that I got to be here early so that I can be here on time. So that's the best gift of my life, is to have honor and to be an example of what is possible.
So giving you motivation of legacy and honor and I'm sure impact as well. You're helping so many people. How do you measure success given those motivators?
It might be someone who tells me I didn't have to use the handicap on the bathroom today for the first time. Someone said that to me yesterday. Someone said to me in the studio today, she was brand new. She's been coming around 2 weeks. She's like, I have never felt so at home and such good energy in my life. I said, we're not a keychain. We're here. We're a family. Like, you're never going to feel like the back row girl in that aerobics class. You are the front row girl, Lisa. We got you. That's what lights me up. Or when someone says, you know what, I need a ride to a meeting, and I can be there because someone was there for me.
What's next for you? What makes you keep going?
What's next for me? I don't know what's next. I try to really one day at a time but I know that I'm going to exit sometimes out of something will happen with life coaching, with speaking, something like that. Because I've been doing this since I'm 16, the fitness thing. I mean, I love it. It's what I know, but I'm ready for a new challenge too.
Another book, maybe?
Maybe another book, maybe speaking. I'd love to speak at women's conferences. I'd like to speak in the recovery community. I'd like to speak to women who feel really not seen, dismissed,
Hmm.
unheard.
But it's going to revolve around impact, that's for sure.
100%. That's Todd Durkin, my mentor. That's his thing, impact. All the shirts are called impact. It's like his impact group. Yeah.
I think that's one of the podcasts I heard you with, correct?
Yeah.
Did you
I
speak
was
with?
on his podcast. Yeah. And
Yeah.
you started your podcast, what, 2021? I wrote August 20. Was that because it was just after COVID and like you were like figuring out the podcast world?
Yeah, I was friends asked me how, and they convinced me to do it, and I just kind of did it, and kept doing it, and 750 episodes later, and 4 years later, yeah, top 2% now in the world. I mean, the thing is, without great guests like you, there's no way I would do it. I mean, you give me motivation, you give the people you work with motivation. Look where I was, look where I am now. I mean, that's the trait, Yvette, of a remarkable person. You could have given up. You could have
Mm,
said, even when you were sober, you said, okay, now I'm just going to do something else and move on. But you continue to help people and to motivate them. I mean, that's the trait of a remarkable person. It's incredible. And I applaud you for it.
thank you so much. And let me ask you a question. Out of those 706 episodes, what's the one thing you've learned the most out of through all these interviews?
Perspective.
Connecticut is far. Damn. That's right. The reframe. Mm,
People ask me sometimes, there's hundreds of hours of you, on these episodes. Aren't you afraid of, them getting an AI and then them trying to make an interview with your voice and everything? The thing is, I can change my opinion on any subject given new evidence. So no, they can't do that. An opinion may have had a year ago on something may be completely different now. So it doesn't really matter. I like to think, when I asked you what you changed your mind on in the last 30 days, you came up with something quick. I like to think that I'm able to change my mind often. I think that the people that kind of dig in and don't want to hear other people's perspective, we need less of that. I feel.
absolutely. Absolutely. You're doing a great thing for the world.
Well, again,
100%.
you are. I really, really applaud what you're doing, Yvette. Thank you so much. If anybody's listening, watching, how can they get in touch with you?
I'm at Instagram at Yvette Salva Fitness. My website is Yvette Salva Fitness. Facebook, Yvette Salva Fitness.
YEVETTE, Salva, SALVA, fitness.com. We'll make sure to put it. You've got great clips on Instagram. You've got great quotes. You're not shy. You're very direct, and it's a great message. And you don't have to kind of read between the lines. And it's impactful and powerful. It's wonderful. I thank you
Mm,
so much, Yvette. Next time I'm in the greater lower tri-state area, perhaps we'll get a cup of tea.
absolutely. Thank you, Joey, for having me on.
You be
And God
well.
bless your beautiful girls and your family. Mwah.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Take care.
Thank you for listening and or viewing Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations. Please share this episode with one or two of your friends who you think may benefit from the episode. Our website, www.joeypins.com. There you'll find lots of resources and you could join our mailing list. Please follow us on all our social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Podcast information, the video version of our podcast is on YouTube. Please subscribe. Audio is on all major podcasting platforms. Please follow them. And if you like it, please consider giving 5-star rating. Would really appreciate that. Thank you again for listening or watching Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations.